Today, while people create millions of content on social media, some do all kinds of nonsense just to grab attention. Being notorious has now become a simple method of becoming famous. In psychology, they call this fame obsession. But this mindset isn't new. The real issue traces back to the man who first did this and gave his name to this syndrome: Herostratus, one of history's most dangerous narcissists who risked unimaginable destruction for the sake of fame. Come on, let's dig in and examine this man who might be the stupidest person in history. If you also have someone around you who would do all kinds of nonsense just to become famous, write it in the comments. If you want to dig into more history together, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. A hot July night in 356 BC. The Temple of Artemis in Ephesus still stood with its columns piercing the sky. This was one of the most magnificent structures in human history. 127 giant marble columns, each 18 meters tall. The temple was built in honor of the goddess Artemis and took exactly 120 years to complete. Lydian kings, Greek architects, sculptors, and thousands of workers. They all shed sweat for the construction of this sacred building. The interior was decorated from top to bottom with statues, reliefs, and legends dedicated to the goddess. At night, it would be illuminated with torches, prayers would be recited, and priestesses would perform rituals. The temple wasn't just religious, it was also a cultural and economic center. Merchants coming to Ephesus would first visit the temple and leave offerings. This magnificent structure was listed among the 7 wonders of the ancient world. But one man felt an endless emptiness right in the middle of this magnificence. His name was Herostratus, an ordinary man living in Ephesus. He wasn't from noble blood, nor was he wealthy or learned. Life had given him nothing, but he wanted just one thing: not to be forgotten, to carve his name into history at any cost. And he believed the way to do this was not through building, but through destroying. On the night of July 21st under the stars, he silently approached the temple. With a saw in his hand, he secretly infiltrated inside with a few torches. He smeared pitch on the wooden beams and placed dry branches between the columns. Then he lit the torch. As flames first slowly, then rapidly spread and engulfed the entire structure, Herostratus climbed the opposite hill. From there he shouted, "I did it! I am Herostratus. I burned this temple. Let the world memorize my name." By morning, the Temple of Artemis had been reduced to rubble. The people of Ephesus were horrified. That magnificent structure wasn't just made of stones. It was the heart of a civilization. Mourning was declared in the city. People began questioning why the goddess hadn't prevented this event. Some interpreted the coincidence of this event with the night of Alexander the Great's birth as a divine sign. Finally, they came to believe that the goddess Artemis, who was also a midwife, had gone to Alexander the Great's birth, and therefore couldn't protect the temple. Herostratus was immediately caught. When brought to court, he didn't deny his crime. On the contrary, he boastfully recounted it. The judges made a harsh decision: not only execution, his name was also banned forever. To mention him, even to say his name was considered a crime. The punishment of oblivion was being applied for the first time in history. But human nature burns with curiosity against prohibitions. Ancient historians Strabo and Theopompus ignored this ban and wrote Herostratus's name in their works, and thus, a name meant to be forgotten became immortalized. When Alexander the Great visited here at age 23 and learned about this incident, he felt guilty and indebted and wanted to rebuild the temple, but the Ephesians refused. Even today, we know his name. Perhaps few know who built the Temple of Artemis, but everyone knows who destroyed it. This is one of history's bitter ironies. Builders may be forgotten, but destroyers, if they commit a big enough act of stupidity, are remembered. Herostratus, more than just a name. The name of a mentality that would burn everything for fame.
What about you? What would you risk out of fear of being forgotten? Or would you commit such madness for fame?